I still remember the day everything changed. How love, that sweet and simple thing, brought a curse upon us all. At first, it didn't seem like much, just a girl and a boy sneaking glances at each other. But in Eziuno, things were never that simple. Especially when the gods were involved. I was there through it all. My name is Obika, and I was Ozoemena's closest friend. If I had known what would come of it, I might have warned him sooner. But who can stop love? Not even the gods themselves. Ozoemena had always been the strongest of us. He could lift a yam sack no other man could lift and had never lost a wrestling match. The village elders said he had the spirit of a lion. Women admired him, men respected him, and I was proud to call him my brother, even if we did not share blood. But the day he first laid eyes on Ogonna, everything began to unravel. It was after a wrestling match. He had just defeated Ikin, the strongest challenger from the next village, and the crowd was singing his praise. That was when I saw his gaze shift to a figure standing at the edge of the crowd. Ogonna. Even then, I knew there would be trouble. She was not like the other maidens. She was the daughter of the High Priestess, the one chosen from birth to serve the gods. No man could touch her. No man was even supposed to look at her the way Ozoemena did. And yet, there he stood, frozen, his smile fading. I nudged him. Ozoemena, I whispered, leave that one alone. He didn't listen. Ogonna was not supposed to live like other girls. From childhood, the gods claimed her. She grew up in the shadow of the shrine while the rest of us played in the sun. When other girls braided each other's hair and danced under the moon, Ogonna was learning the old ways, how to speak with the gods, how to offer the right sacrifices, how to carry burdens no one else could carry. Yet, there was something restless in her eyes that day, something longing. I should have known she wanted more than the life chosen for her. It didn't take long for them to meet. At first, it was small things, stolen glances when she walked through the village, a brief exchange of words when she fetched water from the stream. But soon, it wasn't enough. One day, Ozoemena dragged me to the edge of the forest, where the great Iroko tree stood tall. I knew why we were there before he even spoke. She's coming, he said, his voice thick with excitement. You're playing with fire, I warned. If her mother finds out. She won't, he interrupted. I shook my head, but when Ogonna appeared through the trees, my breath caught. She looked free. It was the first time I had ever seen her smile, a real smile, not the tight-lipped one she wore at the shrine. For a moment, I forgot about the gods, the rules, the danger. But danger never forgets. They met under that Iroko tree many times after. I stopped trying to talk sense into Ozoemena because I could see it was useless. Whatever pulled them together was stronger than words. But in our village, nothing stays hidden for long. The High Priestess's wrath. It was inevitable, Ogonna's mother found out. The High Priestess was not a woman to be crossed. She did not shout or curse when she caught them. She only gave Ogonna a long, cold look and said, "You have broken the sacred laws." That night, Ogonna did not return to the village. She was confined to the shrine, forbidden to leave its grounds. But Ozoemena, he refused to let her go. I tried to stop him. The gods are watching, I told him. They will punish you. I don't care, he said. I love her. Love. That simple word that meant so much and yet solved nothing. One night, he slipped past the shrine's guards and found her. I still do not know what happened between them. But I know this, by the next morning, everything changed. The first sign was the sickness. It started with a few villagers, but soon the illness spread. Children cried through the night, and the elderly fell into restless sleep and never woke again. Then, the land itself turned against us. Our yam harvest failed. The rivers grew muddy, and the fish died. Even the sky seemed angry, the sun burned too hot, and the rains would not come. People whispered of a curse. And soon, all fingers pointed to Ozoemena and Ogonna. The High Priestess called for a gathering at the shrine. I stood beside Ozoemena as the crowd pressed close, their faces twisted with anger and fear. "You have defied the sacred order," the High Priestess declared. "You have angered the gods." Ozoemena did not deny it. He stood tall, though I could see the pain in his eyes. Ogonna knelt at her mother's feet, tears streaking her face. "If you do not make amends," the priestess warned, "this village will fall." But the worst was yet to come. The gods do not forget. And they do not forgive easily. Ozoemena fell ill first. What began as a fever soon turned to something worse. Wounds appeared on his legs, hungry, festering sores that no healer could cure. The strongest man in the village had to be carried like a child. I stayed by his side, watching the life drain from him day by day. "It's because of her," some whispered. He touched what was not his. Ogonna did not abandon him. She risked her mother's wrath to visit him, bringing herbs and prayers. But nothing worked. The gods' punishment would not be undone so easily. Finally, Ogonna did the only thing she could. She knelt before her mother and begged for mercy. "I will do anything," she said. "Please, spare him." The High Priestess was silent for a long time. Then, she spoke the words that chilled us all. "You must offer a sacrifice," she said. "A life for a life." For days, Ozoemena and Ogonna prepared. They brought the best goat to the shrine. They prayed, fasted, and humbled themselves before the gods. When the day of the sacrifice came, the whole village gathered. I held Ozoemena upright as Ogonna stood beside her mother, tears in her eyes. The High Priestess cut the throat of the goat and spilled its blood upon the altar. Her voice rang out in the old language, calling to the gods for mercy. And, slowly, the curse lifted. Ozoemena's wounds began to heal. The rains returned, and the air felt lighter. But the gods did not release Ogonna entirely. Though the gods forgave, they did not forget. Ogonna remained bound to the shrine, her duties heavier than before. Ozoemena, though healed, could never be fully free. The love that once felt so simple now carried the weight of divine responsibility. They married in the old way, under the eyes of the gods. But even in their joy, there was a shadow, a reminder that love, no matter how pure, cannot escape the will of the gods. And so, our village was saved. But Ozoemena and Ogonna paid the price that love alone could not erase. I tell you this story so you will remember, in Eziuno, nothing is ever simple. Not even love. And the gods, they are always watching.